Well, you said to me she's going to kill you.
She will.
You feel that way?
Yes. She would still rampage and just get so angry and frustrated.
Kelli Stapleton graduated from Kalamazoo College in 1995 and went on to work as a scientist/molecular biologist in both academia and industry. She gave up her short-term genetics projects to work exclusively on 3 long-term projects. They are her children, McEwen, Isabel, and Ainsley. In her free time, Kelli is the producer and host of a wildly popular internet radio show. She's also the author of a series of books written to entertain and inform women about childbirth. She manages multiple websites and spends far too much time on social media. Kelli is also aspiring to take over the planet. This is how Kelli Stapleton described herself. Kelli shared her life online with raw honesty and relentless detail. But behind the blog post, Kelli's reality was more complicated. Her daughter, Issy, a teenager with severe autism, needed constant care and attention. For years, Kelli's struggles as a mother were open for everyone to see, but in 2013, a darker chapter in their family's story came to light, a moment that changed their lives forever. Kelli wasn't just active online, she was prolific. On her blog, she laid bare the complexities of her life, sharing unfiltered accounts of parenting struggles, Issy's challenges, and the emotional toll it all took. Her posts offered a window into the daily battles her family faced, with a level of openness that was candid but sometimes unsettling. Kelli's passion for storytelling wasn't limited to her own experiences. Through her podcasts and books, she celebrated what she described as the, quote, pivotal transition of a woman becoming a mother. She spoke of the importance of sharing birth stories, believing they forged a sense of connection in an increasingly fragmented world. Long gone are the days of sewing circles, she wrote, lamenting the loss of old-fashioned spaces where women supported one another. She envisioned her work as a way to fill that void, bringing women together through shared experiences. But no amount of storytelling could justify the choice she would later make. A choice that no person, even those who choose to be child-free, would ever deem acceptable. Kelli's blog came with the tagline, quote, rising above mediocrity one mishap at a time. Her first post in September 2012 was lighthearted, recounting an episode of explosive diarrhea during a camping trip. But just 5 days later, her tone turned darker. In a post about death, Kelli wrote, I have yet to meet anyone who's as excited about dying as I am. Let me just say that I am not suicidal. That is something completely different, and I don't want to freak anyone out. I have a daughter significantly disabled with autism, but higher functioning than Britney Spears. I cannot die.
Leave Britney alone! Please!
Kelli's humor often hinted at deeper issues, and her blog revealed some contradictions in her narrative. She described herself as a prominent author and radio host, but also lamented the financial and emotional burden of ensuring Izzy's future. How much money will it take to make sure that she has a home, staff, cameras installed everywhere, comforts and safety, she wrote. At the same time, she celebrated the parenting expos she attended and the, quote, amazing mothers she met through her work. Kelli's blog presented a portrait of a mother who was determined to rise above her struggles, but one who couldn't seem to reconcile the life she portrayed online with the growing despair hidden between the lines. In December 2012, Kelli published a blog post detailing the abuse she claimed to suffer at the hands of her autistic daughter, Issy. She said she'd originally written it in early 2011, but noted that little had changed since then. She described Issy as her abuser, emphasizing that her daughter's violent outburst had escalated as Issy grew older and stronger. Kelli recounted being knocked unconscious, left bruised from head to toe, and suffering injuries ranging from sprained fingers to broken bones. Kelli wrote of living in constant fear, convinced that Issy might one day kill her. Still, she clung to the hope that the violence would stop before it claimed her life, or destroyed her family entirely. Kelli's next blog post detailed a glimmer of hope. She discovered an inpatient facility that could provide Issy with the specialized care she desperately needed. After touring the facility and seeing its potential, Kelli was told Issy could begin treatment immediately. But there was a catch. The facility came with a staggering price tag, $17,000 per month, and Kelli's insurance didn't cover it. She turned to Michigan's Community Mental Health Services for help, but despite consulting numerous experts and gathering their recommendations, she was met with little support. Eventually, after extensive negotiations with the facility and the state, Kelli managed to secure 30 days of treatment for Issy. It was a small victory, but one that came with the weight of knowing how limited those 30 days would be against the enormity of Issy's needs. During Issy's time at the inpatient facility, Kelli remained determined to find additional resources. She organized fundraisers, reached out to charities, and stayed active on social media, sharing her family's story. The Michigan Education Special Services Association added 2 more weeks of coverage, bringing Issy's total treatment to 64 days. Kelli shared updates about Issy's treatment and the progress she was making. The facility's token system encouraged good behavior by allowing Issy to earn tokens she could exchange for activities she enjoyed. Issy had also started crafting as part of her therapy, with her creations being sold to support her treatment. Kelli highlighted the program's success in managing Issy's aggressive behaviors and fostering positive changes. Still, the challenges loomed large. Kelli detailed the difficulties Issy had faced, including injuring staff and destroying her belongings. While the facility recommended up to 240 days of treatment, Kelli knew the resources she had secured so far were not enough. She pressed on, selling Team Issy shirts and amplifying her efforts to keep Issy's progress on track. She maintained a strong presence on social media, hoping to bring more attention to her family's struggle and to secure the resources Issy needed for long-term care. Amid her updates on Issy's treatment and her ongoing fundraising efforts, Kelli Stapleton's blog posts sometimes veered into broader societal issues. In one entry, she turned her attention to school shootings, writing with a tone that felt unsettlingly detached. "There will be more school shootings," she stated plainly, adding, "It's not a matter of if, but when." While she acknowledged the ongoing gun debate, she expressed little hope for meaningful change, choosing instead to reflect on a proposal for arming school administrators. She dismissed the idea as too risky, speculating about her husband, a school principal, having a firearm and imagining dire scenarios. Yet even as she praised her husband's bravery, describing him as someone who would run headlong into danger, her words would take on an unsettling weight in light of what was to come. The woman praising his willingness to protect children would, months later, make a decision that endangered her own. Kelli Stapleton continued to share updates on her blog, shifting between her family struggles and the stories of others she encountered. She occasionally spotlighted other families with similar challenges, sharing links to their crowdfunding campaigns and encouraging her followers to support them. She also posted about plans to reintegrate Issy into public school that fall. By all appearances, Kelli was preparing for the next chapter, balancing her hope for Issy's progress with the immense challenges still ahead. However, some of her posts took a darker tone. In one instance, she shared a stock photo of a girl in a mugshot, dressed in a prison jumpsuit, alongside a caption joking about her own mistakes in life. At the time, the post may have seemed like little more than an odd attempt at humor. In hindsight, however, it feels deeply ironic, given what was to come. By June, Kelli announced that Issy's treatment was fully funded through her discharge date in September 2013. It seemed like a moment of relief after months of struggle. It seemed like a victory, a sign that things were finally falling into place. As Izzy's discharge date approached, Kelli began hands-on training at the treatment facility to ensure she could maintain Izzy's progress at home. The plan centered on the token system that had proven effective in curbing Izzy's aggressive behavior. Kelli learned new techniques for managing Izzy's outbursts, focusing on how to respond to aggression and how to adjust her own parenting style to better support her daughter. These strategies were designed to retrain her approach and foster a more structured and positive environment.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job.
However, not everything went smoothly. Izzy experienced a significant relapse during this period, which Kelli claimed was typical of her aggression, directed almost exclusively at her. She even shared photos of injuries allegedly caused by Izzy, this time to facility staff. Kelli remarked that Izzy's behavior wasn't entirely unusual, comparing it to how many children, even neurotypical ones, often seem to have a short fuse with their parents. Despite the setback, Kelli remained focused on the plan. She believed that sticking to the treatment methods and applying what she had learned would lead to lasting improvements. For now, Izzy's future at home seemed within reach, hinging on the progress they had fought so hard to achieve. When Izzy returned home, Kelli shared a heartfelt post about their reunion. The family welcomed Izzy back with cake, signs, and a celebration. Izzy was overjoyed to see her cat again, immediately retreating to her room to cuddle it. They even took her to visit friends, creating moments of joy and connection. For a brief time, it seemed like a new chapter was beginning for the family. But just a week before school was set to begin, the family was dealt a crushing blow. The local school district refused to allow Izzy to return to public school, citing what Kelli described as a conflict of interest between her husband's role as principal and their parental decisions regarding Izzy's treatment. Instead, the district offered a placement at a school 2 hours away, a school Izzy had previously attended without success. Kelli wrote that the decision left her devastated. After months of treatment and hard-fought progress, this felt like a major setback. Following this post, her blog went silent. On September 3, 2013, the very same day she published these posts, Kelli made an unthinkable choice. Believing the only escape from their struggles was for her and Izzy to, quote, go to heaven, Kelli drove her daughter to an isolated spot in a rural county. Inside their van, Kelli gave Izzy a sleep-inducing drug and lit 2 charcoal-burning grills, filling the space with carbon monoxide. Both were found unconscious, but miraculously, they survived. Just a reminder, if you're finding this story compelling, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss another case. Now, let's get back to what happened to Kelli and Izzy. By the time Kelli Stapleton faced charges for her actions, her marriage had already unraveled. She and her husband had divorced, and their family's life had been irreparably altered. Kelli was charged with attempted murder and first-degree child abuse. During the trial, a forensic psychiatrist testified that she was suffering from post-traumatic stress and bipolar disorders and was legally insane at the time of the attempted murder. However, Kelli chose not to mount an insanity defense. Ultimately, she accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to first-degree child abuse in exchange for the dismissal of the attempted murder charge. At her sentencing, Kelli addressed the court, asking for a 15-year sentence, 1 year for each year of Izzy's life.
Please know that from this day forward, there will be no interviews, no books, no further comments from me. I will not mention Isabel out loud after today. I am not even worthy to speak her name. She is not a monster. I am.
Her ex-husband delivered a powerful impact statement, emphasizing that no rational person could justify her actions.
She says things like, I did it because I love Izzy, and I love Ainsley. Any rational person cannot accept this. This just adds to her crazy. People can label it post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever you want to call it. The reality is that she lost hope and had the delusion in her mind that people's lives would be better without Issy.
Calm, strong, and at times choked up, Matt Stapleton made a promise to his daughter.
Issy's life enhances all of ours. She is a precious gift that makes us all better. Issy is not a monster. She is my daughter, and I will protect her the rest of my life.
While her family had hoped the judge would consider Kelli's mental health as a mitigating factor, the court sentenced her to 10 to 22 years in prison with a minimum of 10 years before parole. She also had to give up her parental rights to all 3 of her children. Kelli was released from prison in September 2024 after serving her minimum sentence. Despite earlier claims that she would avoid writing or speaking publicly about her case, she has returned to blogging and social media. While she avoids directly referencing her crime, her posts often allude to her time in prison and her experiences as Issy's parent. In her blog, Kelli shares her hope for redemption, but her focus on questionable theories, such as vaccine links to autism and the benefits of gluten-free diets, raises eyebrows. Though she frames her return as a way to connect with others, her cautious language leaves no doubt that her posts are shaped by her past actions and their fallout. Issy was left with permanent memory loss and issues with balance. Kelli's actions have cast a long shadow over her family, leaving wounds that may never fully heal. What drives a mother to such an unthinkable act? Was it desperation, mental illness, or something else entirely? And how do we make sense of the progress Issy had made against the lasting harm that followed? These are the questions we're left with, the kind that stay with you long after the tale is told. Remember, every wrinkle tells a story, and in the wrinkles of crime, we find the truth. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I'd love to hear your opinions or suggestions in the comments. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next video, and we'll explore another story hidden within the wrinkles in crime.